Hello everyone, welcome back again to IndieX, and we will have a very different game, a different tone game right now, really different from the previous one. It's called End of Lines. And to understand what this game is all about, we have with us Nico and Geoffroy from Novabox Gaming, and they are
Hello.
the team
I,
responsible for this game, The End of Lines. And I have my cat here, sorry guys. I might have. So, hello. This
Hello.
game,
Hello.
The End of Lines. What can you tell us about this? This is a very different kind of game from the ones we usually see going around. What can you tell us
Yes.
about this?
Well, it's what we call an interactive graphic novel. That's quite akin to a visual novel, but with a European art style, and you see bubbles on the screen like on a comic book. So it's like a visual novel, but a bit different too. And it's our fourth game of this style that we are publishing. And this one talks about the impending climate crisis.
Yeah,
so it's a bit of a post-apocalyptic setting, but not with zombie or this kind of stuff. Just that it tells the story of a family that tries to settle somewhere habitable in Europe at the end of the 21st century.
it's the end of the 21st century. It's actually pretty close. This is a big warning,
Yeah.
a
Yes.
game with a big warning, right?
Yeah.
So,
When we started to work on the game, sorry, I'm Nico, so I'm
yeah,
the artist on the
welcome, Nico.
game. Yes, but by the time we started to work on this game, it was 2 years ago, and we thought it would be quite a bit too much, but now we think maybe
You
it's
nailed
not
it.
it's not so far. Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are part of Novabox and
Mhm.
you have released two games before
Uh,
Sears Isle and Across the Groves.
a bit more than that. There's also Along the Edge that we released in 2016. And the studio exists since 2007, so 15 years. We've done a lot of things, but we started really working on this kind of game with Along the Edge in 2016, then Cersei in 2019, and then Across the Grooves 2 years ago. So that's our fourth major release on Steam and console
Yeah,
and Switch.
and all these games are also interactive graphic novels and they have been having very positive reviews. So there's public for this kind of games and there are people
Yes,
really wanting this kind of games.
they're quite niche. We're not selling millions of copies, but yes, there is an audience for this kind of game, and it's relatively cheap to develop this kind of game. So we managed to make the next one each time. We're still there, and we hope to continue like that for as long as possible.
Yeah, I think it's a good plan because this is an important story with an important, well, it's a theme too much, uh, too big nowadays for the wrong reasons, and it's a story that needs to be told, and this is the medium that you chose to do it, and let's see how it
Yeah.
works out in the real game. So let's go. Yeah, please show us the game. Thank you. So when we start the game, we are greeted already with a gorgeous image because this game has lots of them, right? Hand painted sceneries like this. I
Yes,
don't know if any
absolutely.
of you is responsible for them.
Nico
Yes,
is.
I'm not alone. We have a team of pretty good artists that work with us. And uh, the thing is, try to tell a story with a lot of text. You will notice, and a lot of pictures too that are not very animated. It's quite still pictures with strong colors. You will see that tell the mood. That's our way to tell the story, just like in a comic book, in fact.
Yeah, the images are, all the pictures are like this kind of, they are really gorgeous, really pretty, but there's a
Thank you.
sense of urgency, right? The colors you used. I feel like I'm always walking towards doom when I'm playing this game, really. The images convey that to me. I don't know if that's probably the objective, but I always feel like that, like there's no time, like everything is crumbling, and well, you
Yeah,
have done a beautiful job on that.
what we also try to do is try to make these colors really almost aggressive, so you can feel like things like it's very warm and dry. But also we wanted to show how beautiful it can be, the world can be, even if in this kind of setting. So that were
Let
our
me check
goals.
the volume. Let me just put down the volume a little bit. Although I shouldn't, because the music is really, really gorgeous, guys.
Thank you.
Yes,
And
I think
and
so too. We have the chance to work with passionate musicians. They have their own company. It's called Illustration. They work with us for almost all of our games.
and when we search this game online and we try to find some more information about it, it says, I think on the Steam page, it says that you have researched a lot for this game, right? To write meaningful things that are actually happening about climate change and, well, the impending doom that we are seeing around here. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about the kind
Yes,
of background work you do?
it's true, but we can't we don't want to be scientifically accurate neither. It's just a story, post-apocalyptic one with some fantasy in it. It's a vision. It's imaginary.
Okay.
We chose which of the aspects we wanted to make more visible, more harsh, and which one we wanted to make more smooth. So it's a construction. It's still imaginary. You know, it's not accurate scientifically.
Okay. Oh my F, outra vez. Okay, so my second player is leaving the room again. And we have a right at the first choice we can make on this game, because this is an interactive visual novel. We can make choices, and those choices will impact the paths we take. And I don't know, maybe the endings, are there different endings, a lot of them, none, only one? What can you tell
Yeah,
us about that?
there are several endings, indeed. The ending will depend on the choice you make, of course. The choice you make will dictate who will be the narrator of the story for the second half of the game. So according to the narrator you have, you will have a very different ending.
But
It's
we
it
we
starts
will
to
be sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
it start to simmer without spoiling the game. It's always difficult
Yeah.
to know what to say and what not to say.
Yeah,
Okay.
you still have to you will see it in the first introduction of the game, because at first you start as a matriarch, and then you change who is telling the story, and this will happen in the game many
Several times.
yes, there are many several times,
Yeah.
and who you will have as a narrator will change depending on your previous choices. So this is the main action the only action you will have to to take in the game is making choices, and we try to make it meaningful.
Yeah, and we can see on the top of our screen those little three animals over there, and the story that is is being told right away when we start the game. Uh, we will be going around balancing between the lion, the panther, and the tahuri, and we will learn about that story right at the beginning of this game, and each of the narrators will identify with one of those three kind of views, kind of places in the world. Ah, Jesus, my F. And that's what you guys were talking about, right? The choices we make, they will go mainly towards the lion or the panther or the tahuri, and that will influence
Exactly.
what character is telling us the story and making the choice as well. We are, but he kinda is.
Exactly.
And the matriarch is the lady in purple, and she tells her daughter that she prefers the panther. And by the end of this first little bit, epa, my F. At the start of this little bit, we will get to see what each animal means. So let's go ahead to this point, and we can see right away from the images that there are really they are really different in what they symbolize, probably because everyone has a different color scheme. You guys did a great job doing that, portraying that, because that's what I felt when I was playing, that
Thanks.
different forces were going around. I don't know how you feel
Yeah.
about that.
What we did at first is just it was around the characters. We first built these characters, and then when I wrote this introduction, we realized that these animals were very close to what we have built with the characters. So we made
Oh,
this association, and I think it works quite well. Although it's just a way um, to symbolize um, I don't know what to say, a personality, a way to
yeah,
make choices in a difficult situation.
a very difficult one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what we try to do also is not be we try to stay neutral. They have different ways to act and to think, and they are both valid. There's no wrong decision. You can't lose a game. You will just have another character
Oh,
telling it. You can't die too
okay.
soon.
So there are no game overs. That's one thing I would like. I was wanting to ask you guys. There are no game overs. Simply bad choices
No.
that lead to worse outcomes.
You can't usually in our games, this one as well. You can't lose, but there's always it's always something a bit grey at the end. There's something that you will manage to do, and you have some other things to sacrifice as well. So it always a balance at the end. When you choose to do something, that means that you have to sacrifice something else. So you have no bad ending, but you have no very good ending either. It's always in a shade of gray. But
Yeah,
the flavor of your shade of gray will depend on the choice you've made during the game.
we will see in a while. But this is also a game of management. I was really surprised by that. So yeah, you guys are laughing, but I wasn't really expecting that.
Yeah.
So this is another character that we will see a lot of times. We saw the first one. It's called Nora. She is the red one, the lion. We will get to know. We will know more about that in a moment. And this is the second one that we will have available. This is Camille.
Yeah.
Is more purplish, blue purplish. It depends on who you ask. And the matriarch is talking with him as well. This is the prologue of the game. We haven't really started chapter 1 yet. And
Yes.
we get
The
to know a
prologue is a
little.
kind of a
Sorry, sorry.
flashback. Sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
The prologue is a kind of a flashback. When you get back to present, the story starts.
Okay. Now he's talking about global warming. We get to know here what this story is about and how bad the situation really is. But there's a thing about these characters. A lot of them, they got to know the old world, right? Before whatever this thing happened, that they knew about, well, how we live today. Only the kids don't know it anymore,
Yeah,
right?
that's at the heart of the story. There is this young boy. It's a boy, and he never knew how the world was before. So he's just born in this new strange world, and there is this discussion between he and his parents.
Because it's different when you knew before. Now you live with longing, and you know what you lost. And the little kid, he doesn't really understand that much.
Yes.
Is that going to be explored a lot during the game?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Oh, don't spoil it! Don't spoil it.
No, we started with this intro with the matriarch, which is also another generation, a previous one, to set up the fact that it will be an intergenerational tale, in fact. And the idea of line in the title and of line, it's the idea of a line of blood, of a family. That was the main idea behind the title and the game. Is really this this intergenerational connection between different generation of people.
Yeah, that's the subtext we try to put in the word lines. The title of the game.
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, you guys are right. Totally right. That makes sense. So we get to know right now, right at the beginning, we get to know about the three archetypes of character, of narrator, of leader that we
Yes.
can get to be during the game. And well, depending on our choices, we will get to see a lot more of one of them or another one. And that means also different gorgeous pictures along the game and different places probably. I don't know, but these
Yes, it is the
are
case.
these.
It is completely the case. The last half of the game will be very different according to the choice you made. There almost no overlap between the three possibilities. So the very different endings from the midpoint of the game till the end. It changes a lot. It's a very replayable game. Then you might want
Yes.
to try to unlock each one because they're very different.
Yeah. How long does a game of End of Lines usually take? If I'm not skipping everything, if I'm actually reading and interacting and making wise or not so wise choices, how long does it take usually?
It's like a comic book. It really depends of your speed of reading. But usually our games are between 3 and 5 hour long, depending on how fast you read, how long you stay to watch the images and so on. If you really speed read, you can do it in 3 hours. I think it's about that. And if you take your time, maybe 5 hours.
That's a good time because even if you are a speed reader, you will want to enjoy it, the scenery, the landscape,
The music.
the bubbles, the music. It's
Mhm.
very ominous sometimes.
Yeah,
Jeez.
we
Go
we
ahead.
we get to notice that some readers, some players, are really influenced by the music and can read really fast or really slowly, depending on which type of music they have. So our musicians are using this to speed up or slow the rhythm of the game.
It works. Let me tell you. And you get you get a you get right away a sense of longing. We have no use for that kind of stuff. Everything is kind of broken. We will be trying to find a new place because the matriarch told Camille it's better to go to the place where you came from, like in the north somewhere, and you don't know exactly where. And we
Yeah,
have
that's
a kid.
the first narrator. So Camille, we say in French, but you can say Camille.
Oh,
It's all right.
sorry,
Uh,
Camille.
he's kind of a melancholic one. So you can feel this in the way it tells the story. If you when you change, you have another point of view, and the tone will be very different. Would be if you don't. You can also keep
Yeah.
Camille to the end of the game. Actually, we also have some simple branches on the choices. It's not always about the three characters. It can also be just local change. What we call is you decide if you go either this way or another way, and you would have differences which are not linked to the three main characters. Just
Okay.
usual
Here
changes.
we here we get to know a little bit of our third character, Rafik, and we can see that even in these hard times, the family they try to keep it together and be nice and be kind and have fun with each other, which is also it hurts a little bit because everything is falling apart, but they are still trying so much. And I don't want this to be our future, but it makes us think, and I think that was also the point of this game to
Yeah,
make.
Absolutely.
there's always a bit of hope. We don't want to make something that will be extra bleak with absolutely no future. That's not the point. The point is to show one of our possible futures and show that there's also hopeful things that can happen even if the circumstances are very dire.
And this is the
Yeah.
place on. Sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
Excuse me. Uh, just because you talk about research before, and I think this is some things we can observe when you have catastrophes or terrible things happening. In fact, people are helping each other, and this is something we wanted to show because this is important that we know that we can count on each other. This is really important, I think, for the time to come.
Yeah, this game gives us a lot to think about, and this is the place in the game where we learn about a mechanic that the game actually has. More people will get to join and leave our merry band, right? We get to know these two characters right away. They are called Inaya and Son, maybe.
Yeah.
And they join our band. I say maybe because probably that's not how I said those names, but I tried. And they have joined us. They are also feeling helpless, but they want to join us, and together we may be stronger, hopefully, and lead everyone to a better place. That's the thing. And our characters don't want to abandon them, and they join. our.
Yeah. You will see later that we have to keep a balance between your suppliers and the people in the traveling group.
And then we get music pieces like this. In some ways, we are not expecting, and it's deep. And we are seeing a map that we may be using later. I don't know yet. We don't know yet. We will know along the way. And if you read what they're saying, some of them don't know how to read anymore, or there's a language barrier, and you need to get by with whatever you have. So it's a heavy
Yeah.
placement for the story. It's a heavy start. It is. Great job on that. I'm feeling it. Where the lines end. This is Jesus. This is so strong.
Yes, that was the other meaning of the title, was the line on the map that you follow. That was the other meaning of the title. To go to the end of the lines.
Oh. And you get it just like this with the urgency of what it's happening. Everything is so red. There's not enough water, there's not enough food, and that's what we need to manage towards the end of, during the entire of our journey. That's what we are getting told here. Water is precious, food is precious, and suddenly we get a not so red scenery. It's more of a blue one. So this
Yeah.
is this is way back, because it's not it's more normal, it's more relaxing, it's not so aggressive anymore. So this is great storytelling when you know that instantly you are not in the same place anymore, in the same timeline, even not timeline, but in the same era, because
Timeline. You can say it. It's a bit. Yes, you said it right. It's not the same era, and also it's like a memory, but not really a memory. It's like a dream. Also, he's saying his father, and have a conversation with him, but they are both adults, and it's kind of a vision, a dream, having right now.
a wish, maybe a
Maybe.
deep wish of him to, I don't know, try to change something that it's not changeable anymore. He's
Yes,
talking
time,
with. Sorry? Go ahead, go ahead.
time is a bit David Lynch in this game. There will be back and forth between the present and the past. Quite a lot of time during the first half of the game.
That's what also makes good storytelling. You never know where we will go next on the narrative. I was really involved by the game while I was playing it. Uh, I reached the end of the demo too fast, really, because I was just, oh my god, this is so cool. I'm really involved in what's happening.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. That's very good to hear.
Yes.
We are still in production, as you know, so it's always very nice to hear those things while we're trying to finish the game.
Because the game hasn't released yet. So
No.
when do you expect to release, the entire story?
Yes, it will release early next year if everything goes to plan. The trailer was we haven't updated it because we were aiming for 2022 at first, but we can't make it unfortunately. So we'll release in 2023. We hope in the first quarter of 2023.
Oh, that will come by in a second, really. It's not that long. So we won't have to wait much.
Yes.
Yeah, mostly the game
we're a bit late in the production, so all bets are off. Maybe it will be a bit later, but we're doing our best without over-exhausting ourselves to finish this game. We want to finish it right, not to skip over the end to release it, because
it's okay. The game will be ready when it's ready, so we
exactly.
will wait for this gladly. And this game will be released for PC on Steam. And can we expect to see this game somewhere else?
Yes, will be on Nintendo Switch too.
To Switch. Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Because this is the kind of game I envision myself like playing a little bit before going to sleep or something, or comfy in my couch.
Yes, we will also optimize our games for the new platform Steam Deck, so it works very well on the Steam Deck too if you happen to have one.
No, I don't, but that's cool. That's cool. So this game, and will the previous ones be also available on working on Steam Deck? Your previous
Yes,
games as well? I don't really know how it works.
Yes, they are also optimized for the Steam Deck. We try to keep our game, even our older one, up to date and running the best they can. We are on the long-term support for all our releases.
That's good, because ultimately this is a story, so it's good to be able to take it with you to experience it whenever and whatever you wish to. It's
Yes,
different.
it's a great game for the coach. It's a great game to play in transportation. So we try to make it
with headphones to listen to the beautiful music, or else you will be losing much. You will. And the game is full of little moments like this. I could have skipped it, this moment, but you get moments of joy to make everything harder on us. Well done, guys. And it's so pretty. And we get to join, and we get to see little bits of interaction with Sam, and we can also choose who we get to know, right? Because there are times in the story where we can choose who to interact with and manage relationships, right?
Yes.
So weirdly enough, this game is about management as well. I wasn't expecting that, but it makes sense because it's all about choices in the end. And Camille is always very, very sweet. Despite everything else, he's always very sweet when talking with Sam. And now this is where we get... sorry?
Just that was an important thing to us too. This relation between father and son, wanted it to be nice, you know.
That's important, because despite everything else, despite the chaos that's going all around us, we can actually put the effort and make the life of everyone else surrounding us, make it better, make it sweeter, make it wiser. And I think that you can... I've seen it in some choices in the game. You can just move along, and I don't care about the other person, how they are feeling, but you can go there and give it a small nudge, like, I'm here.
We wanted it to be at least a choice you can make to keep this. It's a possibility. It's not the only one.
Yeah, don't spoil it. So here we get to know that resources are scarce, and we need to manage them well, and we can send people in expeditions, and it will make the difference, right? Who we send, when we send, if they're one, they're two, because people get tired, but more people probably can carry more stuff when they go on expeditions, yes. I guess.
Yes, that's the idea. That's a very light management gameplay. We are not for ex developers. So that's quite light, but it was an important part of the theme we were talking about. So we felt we needed to have this something about the rationing of the supplies and the management of the people in the game.
Because we need to keep our resources at a minimum, or else people will leave us because
Yeah.
there's not enough for everyone else, right? I don't know how many characters will we meet across our journey, but I hope a lot to see more different.
Yes, it's quite
Gorgeous.
subtle, and as Geoffroy said, it's very light. But you have this kind of thing. People will not necessarily leave the group, but we have you want to have some choices to make that there will be absent from the list if you don't have enough supplies, or if you have
Okay.
not the right people at the right time. So it will change the story, and that's the main thing. And some of the branches won't be possible if you don't have the right balance.
I see. Well, that adds a little more to the game and makes us want to take different paths, and that adds to the replayability of the game as well, because if everything can change, then obviously
It,
there will be different outcomes, so
yes, it
that
has
adds for that.
these two aspects. First, it's also a way to tell the story, because when you feel this necessity um, to explore, to send people, to keep the balance, the feeling you can convey through this system, and also it has a replayability value. So we have the boss aspects thanks to that.
Since this is a very different type of game that we usually see around, in these types of game, what are the biggest difficulties you encounter when creating the game? Probably some stuff is a lot easier to do, but well, it must be different, right? Because there's not that much action, but everything needs to be involving and captivate the player. So what's the greatest challenge you have when doing a game like this?
I guess for us, it's always the amount of content we want to make into the game. There's a lot of illustration. There's more than 1,000 in this game, and a lot of words so that we have to localize. We write in French and we localize in English. So the messaging thing is mostly the amount of content to produce. I guess.
Yeah,
And then
the
the
game
difficulty,
stays. Sorry, Geoffroy.
and then the difficulty to release and sell a game, but that's a constant for every indie developer there is. It's very hard to find the right time to release and to have some press about it and to convince the player to buy the game. That's very hard, but it's the same for every one of us, I guess, developers.
I wanted to say it's still a small indie game. You know, it's not a big production. It's not so hard. We know it, and we feel lucky. We can do the game with a small team. Mostly, it's me and Geoffroy making choices between text and pictures, which goes where, how to write it, and it's like when you make a comic book with a writer and a drawer, an
Yeah.
artist,
Illustrator. Yeah.
and we have also, of course, music. It's still quite small, but yeah, the main thing is to I think one of our main difficulty is to make it right between the text and the pictures. It has to work well, and then the music comes up on it and make it full. That's all.
I think you are doing a great job, by the way. I
Thank you.
haven't tried your previous games because I didn't know about them, I'm honest, but I'm
It's fine.
planning on trying them because this is a genre of game that I like very much, and I don't often find it that much. Usually, I rely on reading a lot, but this is a nice change of pace, and there are a lot of us probably out there looking for this. So I do hope this game gets known a lot because, well, it's so pretty. It's really engaging.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And look at this. Now you are suddenly in a happy time. Suddenly, out of nowhere. A while ago, you were like facing destruction, and everything is blue, not red anymore. I, I love what you did with this. You can tell right away. This is amazing storytelling, really. And I'm happy here looking at the crabs with them. And this is it. The kid is looking at new stuff because he didn't knew this. He is born in a new, more chaotic world.
Yes,
And
it's still beautiful. That's the thing. It's still beautiful. Blue crabs everywhere can be beautiful. It's not a good sign though. If you have a lot of blue crabs, beware.
yeah, not that good. But moving along, we arrive in a cool place in a memory, and we are already in the second part of the demo by now, and here we can make a few choices that will change what images we see, and but in the end it will lead to the same place. I've tried it, different
Yeah,
choices, and
of course.
you will see beautiful painted sceneries, whatever
Yes.
whatever
Yes.
What we do
the
is in the first part of the game, you can't have a lot of big differences because we stock the the different choices you made in the three animal thing for which one you would be your favorite. So we have to take time to build it, and so we make small differences with choices really simple. You can do this, not do this, take this way, take another way. So you will have small what I call earlier local chances.
mm,
But the more you get in the game, the more the bigger the differences will be.
yeah,
And of course, in
Yes.
the second part of the game, it's a
Very different.
big changes. Yeah.
more
What uh, what
impactful.
what would have been smart marketingly for the marketing would be to have a demo that leads to one or two or three different ending, but we're not very marketing savvy people, so we didn't do that. We just try to tell the best story we can, and so the first chapter is quite linear, but that doesn't reflect the linearity of the rest of the game. That is much more non-linear after the first part of the game.
Still, you can not going underwater at all and just stay on the ground if you want.
Yeah, but I chose to bring everyone here because this is so lovely. This painting, and I wanted everyone to see. we
Yeah,
we
and I made this bubble sound. I think it's really well done.
and we get to explain to our kid, or try to explain what a supermarket was, and he's not really that convinced about that. The character interactions are really sweet on this game. We will get to see it a lot. and we get all these bubbles going around like kind of a scattered thought. It's really pretty. It's involving. It's not just plain text going right away. You do a nice job. You guys do a nice job alternating and between this thoughts going around and plain text, and I think it's really pretty.
Yes, we tried different formulas in our previous games, and so we tried this one for end of lines. Try to have
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of text at the same place, so your eyes don't have to move too much, and then more bubbles. A time when you can see more of the pictures. So we
That's a
try
great
things.
idea. That's a great idea. Well, we are getting near the end of our time, but I
Okay.
would like to ask you guys, is there anything else you would like to say about these games that you would like people to know about this game, about the experience, about, well, anything? Go ahead. This
Well, I
is your
think
time.
you did a very good job of running up everything. I don't think there is much to add. Nico will maybe say something else after. Of course, the most important thing for us is to wishlist the game on Steam. It's a way to show your support, and it helps us a lot. So I'm sorry I have to tell it, but it's the
And
reality.
wishlist it.
Yes, that's it. So thank you for having us. I will let Nico tell us if you have something to tell, Nico.
Not really. The question is too difficult. Sorry, I don't know. I have nothing to add. But yes, thank you. It was very nice moment. Nice things you said. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to know that your games exist, because, well, I didn't knew before you applying to IndieX, and I'm really happy that you did, and I do hope that the word spreads around and more people get to know this, because when we were little, several of us that had those books, adventure books, and we
Yes,
would just
Yes.
take them everywhere and choose our own adventure. So this is the new way of doing it, right? So I,
exactly.
Just
I
another way.
know,
That's
at least a new way of doing it. So I do hope a lot of people get to know this and enjoy it as much as I did. And thank you guys for your nice work.
and
And
if you
see
want
you soon.
if you want to stream it, of course
Ah,
we'll give you keys. Don't hesitate to ask, and we'll relay that with pleasure.
thank you so much. That's really kind. Thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
This was lovely. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.
See you soon, everyone, on the next game. Following up. Bye bye.
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 The sky is red. Or is it? The air's so hot it feels red. When did it stop being blue? A battered old paper with words I can't read, and lines that fade and melt across the tears and folds. Lines that guide us towards hope, the hope of a welcoming land. And yet, we don't know what we'll find beyond the map, where the lines end